Jungkook can't keep quiet when Jimin is approached by someone else in the midst of the busy schedule of BTS members who are currently undergoing military service and various individual activities. The ARMY was again surprised by an emotional moment involving two of their favorite members, Jungkook and Jimin. The issue of their closeness has always attracted attention, but this time, the public was made even more curious after news circulated that Jungkook showed an unexpected reaction when he saw Jimin being approached by someone else. The moment took place in a closed event where several fellow celebrities were seen chatting intimately with Jimin. From a distance, Jungkook, who was at the same location, seemed to direct his gaze sharply towards the interaction. The gesture turned serious, and according to eyewitnesses, Jungkook briefly approached, greeted with a slight smile, and then stood for quite a while near them, as if to confirm the situation, for a long time. Jungkook and Jimin were known to have a very close relationship. The two are not only colleagues, but also close friends who have accompanied each other since the beginning of the debut. In many interviews and BTS content, their interactions often show deep affection and care. They often support each other in difficult times, and the warmth of their interaction makes many fans believe that their relationship is more than just an ordinary friendship. Jungkook, who is known to be cheerful but secretive in terms of feelings, rarely shows his emotions too openly in public. However, when it comes to Jimin, fans can see a different side of him, more protective, more considerate, sometimes even a little possessive. Therefore, Jungkook's reaction when Jimin looks familiar to others is considered a form of genuine concern and perhaps a bit of jealousy. It didn't take long for the ARMY to raise the issue on social media. Hashtags such as #ProtectiveJungkook and #JohnJungkook immediately became global trending topics. Many speculated that Jungkook felt uncomfortable seeing Jimin get too close to others, especially if it wasn't from their close circle. Fan comments also appeared. He's not just a friend. Just look at Jungkook's expression at that moment. That look speaks volumes. Whenever Jimin is approached by others, Jungkook is always like that. Clearly, he couldn't hide his feelings. The ARMY doesn't need drama. We've always known that Jungkook was the one who cared the most about Jimin. Some fans even made a compilation of videos showing various moments where Jungkook showed a protective attitude towards Jimin, from hugging him in the rain, holding his hand when he was nervous, to staring intently at anyone who tried to get too close to Sang-hyun. Although there has been no immediate statement from Jimin about the incident, many believe that he was aware of Jungkook's attitude. In previous interviews, Jimin has mentioned that he appreciates Jungkook's attention and considers him a brother and friend whom he trusts. However, fans believe that their relationship has developed much deeper than just colleagues or ordinary friendship. Jimin is also known as a warm and sociable person. But when he was with Jungkook, he always showed special tenderness. Perhaps because of that, too, when someone from the outside tries to break into their intimate space, Jungkook's reaction can be very instinctive. The biggest question that kept rolling through ARMY's mind: was this all just a normal form of caring between friends? Or was there something deeper? Some fans prefer not to speculate too far and simply enjoy their closeness as sincere and beautiful. However, not a few also believe that there is a deeper layer of feeling hidden behind Jungkook's gaze and actions. Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: the relationship between Jungkook and Jimin is something very rare and real. In the midst of a world of entertainment that is full of pressure and competition, the two can still show mutual trust and care so deeply. The simple event where Jungkook seemed unable to stand still as Jimin approached others may sound familiar to some. However, for ARMY, who has been following BTS for years, this is a small snippet of a long story of two best friends who have gone through a lot together. And if the look is indeed a sign of jealousy, maybe it's not a bad thing. Because that's where we know that behind the camera and the glitter of the stage, there is a genuine, human, and heartwarming connection. After the moment that made a splash, some observant fans also noticed that Jungkook had made a brief update through his personal platform. Despite not naming names, he wrote a simple but meaningful sentence. "Sometimes we just want someone to stay by our side," without having to explain why. The sentence was directly linked to an earlier incident, in which many felt Jungkook was indirectly expressing what was in his heart. Not long after, Jimin was also seen sharing a portrait of himself smiling while staring at dusk, with the caption, "Quiet time makes us understand who means the most." These two uploads are perceived as a kind of veiled communication between them, as if speaking through the heart, not words. It's no secret that Jungkook and Jimin often use social media or their personal community platforms to convey messages that cannot be expressed directly. The ARMY is used to capturing the hidden meanings of every sentence, expression, and even the playlist of songs they share. Interestingly, this incident also invited an indirect reaction from other BTS members. Taehyung, who is known as one of Jimin's closest friends, commented in a live broadcast that there are some people who don't find it easy to see their best friend close to others. The remarks immediately added to speculation that the members themselves were aware of the dynamic between Jungkook and Jimin. RM, in a recent interview, said, "Strong relationships are sometimes tested when a third person comes in. But if the foundation is solid, it will not falter." At first glance, it sounds like an ordinary philosophy, but many believe that it refers to the situation between the two youngest members. Suga, who is known as a silent observer in the group, was caught on camera smiling a little when Jimin and Jungkook were in an interview session together. Such expressions are often interpreted by the ARMY as a form of tacit blessing from the Hyung for the closeness of the two. Not a few fans began to speculate further. Is this a sign that Jungkook is starting to be honest with his feelings? Asked an ARMY officer on Twitter. Or maybe all this time they were just waiting for the right time to make everything clearer? Fanfic theories began to re-emerge, some even making the narrative that the incident was the climax of a long story that had begun since the Wings era, when Jimin and Jungkook first showed a striking closeness. Some of the old clips began to be re-uploaded, their interaction touching each other's hands spontaneously, the gaze that never lies, to the way they call each other with a gentle tone. Of course, all this is still limited to fan interpretation. But one thing that can't be denied is the fact that Jungkook can't hide his feelings when Jimin becomes the center of people's attention. There are emotional attachments that are too deep to simply ignore. Now, the public and fans can only wait. Will there be any follow-up moments that clarify their relationship? Or will everything return to being a mystery that can only be felt, but never said? To be sure, Jungkook and Jimin's every move will continue to be followed by millions of eyes and hearts. Not out of sheer curiosity, but because their relationship has become part of ARMY's emotional journey around the world, and perhaps only time will tell. Is this just a momentary jealousy of a friend, or a strong signal that Jungkook's heart cannot be separated from a figure named Jimin?